Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well today. It is Apex Trades here with another market sector analysis. So today in the markets, we had half the sectors doing good things, half the sectors doing nothing. As you can see, that is reflected with SPY, basically another inside bar. This stagnation is quite remarkable after last week's volatility. So looking at SPY right now, yesterday I noted that we had this channel pattern with 3 points of confluence. And what I did was I copied that top trend line and I tried to line it up as best I could with the bottom trend line. We get some interesting points here where we see, two wicks coming through. We get a wick over here and then a bit of a pivot wick. So we have a high, or we have a low interaction and a high interaction in just 2-3 sessions. So a lot of confluence with this channel. This is just a good visual reference to see our uptrend and possible points of resistance and support. Ultimately, though, the SPY is looking like it's making a bit of a bull flag here. So we'll see how much follow through or any follow through that this ETF gets, but the main pivot high that the bulls need to break is at 381.49. The pivot low that they need to hold is at 376.36, and ultimately make a higher low compared to that 364.82 pivot. I don't love this pivot low in the middle of the pattern. Not a whole lot of confluence. If it ends up holding, that's great. If it breaks, not the end of the world. I could still see a case for a bull continuation by making a higher low compared to this major pivot down here. So all in all, bulls in full control, making that bull flag. So a lot of good things. The dollar. So remember, I always talk about how the dollar is typically inversely correlated with the assets, and now they are in sync. They're making the same patterns. They are doing the same things when they have good, strong. When one of them has good, strong days, the other has a good, strong day, as opposed to the opposites. And look at what we're seeing in dollar. You notice the similar pattern. A bull flag stagnation and a bull flag consolidation right now. Exact same setup as SPY, just obviously in a different technical setup. But very bullish, breaking out of this pattern, holding that bull flag. Main pivot high that the bulls need to break for the dollar is 90.72. The interim pivot low that the bulls need to hold is that 89.92, but the main pivot that they have to hold is this 89.20 level. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see this massive weekly falling wedge that I was talking about maybe a couple weeks ago. But lots of confluence here. So it appears that we are breaking out of this daily falling wedge, and we are running up into potentially some weekly resistance. So keep an eye on these patterns as they develop, but very interesting correlation to see how the dollar and the assets are both making, well, at least the SPY and the dollar are both making bull flags in their current consolidation. QQQ, a bit of a down day, but pretty nonchalant. Still, the bulls need to break this pivot high of 319.39 and ultimately hold this pivot low of 311.20. Not a whole lot of action going on in QQQ land. IWM, a lot of strength today. It was one of the lead sectors. New pivot high for the bulls is today's high of 215 even, that psychological level. We have an interim pivot low here, which I don't love, right around the 205 area, specifically 204.66. Again, similar idea to SPY, where we run up. If we break this level, a little bit more significant considering we've had a decent run up since it. However, just 2 points of confluence. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Don't love the level, but that is the technicals right now. SMH, strong day, big upper wick, a lot of profit taking throughout the end of the day. And that was likely because QQQ had a down day. So it's pretty interesting. I was noting this inverse correlation between QQQ and SMH, which is typically not reality. Typically they move in sync with each other. But SMH had a strong day, but big pullback at the end of the day, good volume coming through. Interesting to see how that inverse correlation is now taking place. Main pivot low that the bulls need to defend all the way down to 216.56. You can argue even to here to 11.92, but this pocket of support retesting that breakout area. We can zoom in on the 4-hour, find some minor pivots right here. So 232.50 and 227.86. So multiple levels that the bulls can interact with. Keep an eye on all of them just to get directional sentiment. Tan, pretty nonchalant day rate, pretty nonchalant day as well. Main pivot high that the bulls need to break is ultimately that 123.66. I'm counting the pivot low that we made on, I believe it was Monday, of 112.30 as our interim pivot low. We can zoom in on the extended hours chart and see how that how I derive that level. So we have this big impulse move up, pull back right now. It seems to be holding. So we'll see if we get any follow through to the upside or the downside. But ultimately, bulls in full control of this sector. So I would assume if we bounce from here, we would likely break that 123.66. XLV forming another bull flag, so another market sector showing its bullishness. Consolidated volume on the decline. So a lot of good positives. Ultimately, the bulls need to break this pivot high of 118.13, hold this pivot low of 116.13 in order to confirm this daily bull flag. We can pull back, retest this area, and still be in a bullish uptrend. However, if we want to confirm the validity of the bull flag, then we have to hold this 116.13 level. So, like I said, we can break it. However, it just doesn't count as a bull flag anymore. We'll probably find some support in this breakout area and have to work our way out. But the quick and easy route would be hold this level, break out at the top level, and continue this uptrend. XLF making a new high today, bit of a doji, declining bull volume. This looks like it's getting a little toppy. We can see the RSI is a little overextended. Ultimately, the bulls need to break the pivot high of today, 31.62, to confirm continuation and make a higher low compared to 30.49. So if we pull back from here, bulls just need to make a higher low compared to that 30.49 in order to confirm that daily uptrend. And if you zoom in on the hourly chart, it appears that we have a bit of a rising wedge. So this correlates well with my hypothesis that XLF is looking a little toppy on the daily chart with its RSI. And we can get a better technical sentiment by identifying the bearish divergence that's taking place. So price action is making higher highs while the RSI is making lower highs. This is a pattern that typically breaks bearish. XLF has been a strong sector for the market. So this might have influence on a broader market pullback. Keep an eye on these possibilities. If we break bearish, watch the reaction from SPY. Or watch any other sectors that might have continuation. XLV in that bull flag. If XLF pulls back, XLV has a very strong day, that'll help keep the markets going strong. But we'll see what happens. Again, XLF looking a little toppy. XBI, so defied my expectations. I originally anticipated, as I'm sure most of my viewers know by now, that we would see a equilibrium pennant type pattern. So pullback, strong hard pullback, lower high compared to the top, higher low compared to the bottom, and a break bullish in a week or two. The least likely outcome I anticipated was a V-shape. And what did we get? Well, we got a V-shape recovery. So close above that pattern, strong bull volume, very strong candle. I should say a close above this pivot level of 152.70. So very, very good indication of strength in this sector. Coming off of another bull flag, good bull break. So we'll look for the pivot high of tomorrow to break to signify continuation. Pivot high of today to break to signify continuation. 153.59 is our new interim pivot high, and we can count this pivot low here of 145.75 as a level the bulls need to defend. So overall, pretty mixed bag day in the markets. Take a look at ACB using this case study to our advantage. So finally, we're getting very good strength, increasing bull volume as this daily bull flag looks to be confirmed. yesterday, what I was talking about transpired perfectly. So after yesterday's session in yesterday's video, this is what we saw. So we had a pullback, had a lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, confirming the hourly trend change to bullish, confirming the daily bounce. Yesterday, with this morning candle, strong opening candle over this pivot high, I was adding into a position. Got about 1/3 filled. And as we were pulling back, I mentioned that today we would likely see either a gap up open or bulls would buy a dip if price just opened here. So either way, it was looking very good for the bulls. We had a strong hourly trend change. If price opened here today, we would see the bulls buy that dip continuation. And if it gaps up, bulls would buy into the momentum. So what did we get? We got a gap up open, and bulls largely bought into the momentum. So I would have loved to have a little bit more follow through. We are seeing some upper wicks, but good bull volume overall on the hourly chart. And on the daily chart, a strong close above yesterday's high, approaching this pivot over here around the 1250s with increasing bull volume. So you will see what transpires. If you look at Kilroy, great case study of what can happen when a stock really gets going. I mean, this is a hell of a squeeze. So we have this broader pattern, big gap up, consolidation, and absolute short squeeze. Or bullish euphoria, either or. So I'm hoping we get something of the same from ACB, targeting in through the 17-18 level, just below this pivot high. But again, do your own research, make your own trade plan, don't follow mine blindly. BM, another excellent stock pick. So yesterday I was looking at the 4-hour chart as it had the most clarity for me. Was watching this bull flag set up, and I had confidence that it was a bull flag because of all this bull volume. So today, market opened red to green. DM opened red to green and saw exceptional follow through. We see increasing bull volume as well through the break of this bull flag. So tomorrow, I will be looking for entries if we get any pullbacks into the 22s. Again, do not follow my trade plan blindly. This is not financial advice. But we have this bull flag break confirmation. I have about 1/3 of a position set, and we'll be looking for entries on any pullbacks to get that full position, hopefully with an average in the low 22s, and see continuation up to the 30s. LAZR was another one that we were watching yesterday. So we had the failed breakout, and now we have an inside bar. It's riding this volume weighted average price. So that's a good sign. Most people are about break even, nobody's selling, and the likelihood of people buying is that much higher. Good bull volume over the last couple of weeks. So I'll be watching the high of today for directional clarity. So if we get a strong break of 33.92 tomorrow or into next week, that would be my sign that we are likely going to see bullish continuation. But watching today's inside bar very carefully, BYND is another name that broke out. I posted this on Twitter this week. A very nice descending pattern here. Great bull volume throughout. Although we did get an earnings miss, this is a very reputable company, and I have full confidence that investors see this as a great buying opportunity. But look at this broad pattern, huge volume shelf, very strong candle today. The ideal situation would be any pullback, add into the pullbacks, and see continuation potentially up in through the highs. So into the 180s, 200s. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and had a great day trading. I'll talk to you tomorrow.